Hello, everyone. I'm Pamela, your host. Today, we're talking about what to do when a woman is acting cold and why giving her space is often the most powerful move you can make. When a woman starts acting cold, most men make the same mistake. They chase harder. They call more, text more, try to fix things with emotional talks, or go out of their way to win her back in that moment. And almost every time it backfires. Instead of bringing her closer, it pushes her even further away. Why? Because you're feeding the very thing that's making her pull back, the feeling that she has all the space, control, and certainty she needs. Welcome back, fellas. Today we're going to break down something that can save you a lot of pain and a lot of wasted effort. When she starts acting cold, the best thing you can do is give her distance. Not because you're playing games, not because you want to punish her, but because you understand what's really going on in that moment. See, cold behavior from a woman isn't always about anger or dislike. Sometimes it's her way of creating space to test your reactions. Sometimes she's feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or emotionally disconnected. But no matter the reason, if you smother her when she's cold, you confirm that you can't handle the distance. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who looks desperate for her warmth. Giving her space is not the same as ignoring her. It's not being cold back. It's maintaining your own rhythm, your own life, and your own emotional balance without trying to force her back into the mood you want. When you do this right, something interesting happens. Her curiosity returns, her energy shifts, and more often than not, she starts coming toward you again. In this video, I'll break down exactly how to give her space in a way that actually works. We're going to talk about the mindset you need, the mistakes to avoid, and the subtle moves that keep you in control, even when she's acting distant. 1. Stop chasing and let her feel the space. When a woman starts acting cold, most men do the exact thing that makes it worse. They chase harder. You call more, text more, try to fix whatever you think is wrong. You tell yourself you're just showing you care, but what she feels is pressure. And pressure pushes people away. If she's acting distant, it means something inside her is telling her to step back. Maybe she's stressed. Maybe her attraction has dipped. Maybe she's testing to see how you react. Whatever the reason, your job is not to fill the gap with more of you. Your job is to leave the gap alone. Think of it like a campfire. If the flame is getting smaller, you don't dump a bucket of gasoline on it. That would just blow it out. You step back, let the air flow, and let the flame catch again naturally. When you stop chasing, 2 things happen. First, you break the cycle of her seeing you as too available. When you're always there, she doesn't have to miss you, and people only value what they have to miss. Second, you give her the mental space to think about you on her own, without you forcing yourself into her thoughts. There's a big difference between giving space and playing games. Playing games is when you purposely ignore her to manipulate her emotions. Giving space is when you respect her distance without resentment or neediness. It's about you controlling yourself, not trying to control her. In this space, focus on your life. Work out, spend time with friends, do something you've been putting off. The less you sit there obsessing over her next move, the more attractive you become. Women notice when a man can step back confidently. It tells her you're secure, you're not desperate, and you can handle changes in her mood without falling apart. And that, more than any text or sweet words, pulls her back toward you. If you can master this first step, you've already set the tone for how she sees you moving forward. The key is to hold your ground and let her feel the absence, without anger, without fear, and without breaking your own frame. 2. Stop explaining yourself. One of the most unattractive things a man can do when a woman starts pulling away is to start explaining himself endlessly. You might feel tempted to say, I just want you to know I've been busy because, or I only reacted that way because I was tired. You think you're being transparent, but in reality, you're over-justifying. And that makes you look guilty even when you've done nothing wrong. When a woman starts acting distant, she's already forming her own perceptions. Over-explaining is like handing her proof that you need her approval. It's a subtle way of saying, I'm afraid you're upset with me, and I need to make sure you like me again. But attraction doesn't work like that. The more you try to explain away every action, the more she sees you as someone who is reactive, insecure, and seeking validation. It's the opposite of confidence. Confident men don't feel the need to explain themselves constantly. If you were busy, you were busy. If you made a decision, you own it. If she didn't like it, you listen, but you don't start piling on excuses just to smooth things over. You let your actions speak for themselves. This doesn't mean you become cold or refuse to communicate. It means you stop defending yourself unnecessarily. If she asks about something, you answer simply and clearly. You don't turn it into a TED Talk about your intentions. There's also a deeper psychological reason why you should avoid over-explaining. It disrupts her curiosity. When you explain every detail, there's nothing left for her to wonder about. Mystery fades. And when mystery fades, so does the tension that fuels attraction. A man who holds back from unnecessary explanations sends a silent but powerful message. I know who I am. I trust myself. I don't need to justify my existence. That's the energy that makes her want to understand you more, not less. In short, keep your responses simple, keep your composure, and let your steadiness do the talking. 3. Maintain emotional control. When a woman starts ignoring you, one of the worst mistakes you can make is to let your emotions take over. It's natural to feel frustrated, confused, or even hurt. But if you let those emotions leak out in the form of anger, guilt trips, or desperate messages, you instantly hand her the power in the situation. The moment she sees you unraveling or trying to force her to respond, she knows you're operating from a place of weakness rather than confidence. Women are highly sensitive to emotional energy. If you project neediness, they feel it. If you project calm control, they feel that too. When you stay composed, it communicates that you are not dependent on her attention for your emotional stability. That's attractive because it shows emotional strength, a quality that stands out in a world full of men who crack under pressure. Instead of chasing, slow everything down. Don't react instantly to her silence. Give space, both for her to miss you and for you to evaluate if you even want to continue the connection. This isn't about playing cold or heartless. It's about refusing to let temporary emotions push you into permanent mistakes. It's also important to avoid emotional testing. This happens when a man sends multiple types of messages, funny, serious, sad, just to see which one will get a reaction. Not only does this make you look unstable, but it also reveals that her approval is controlling your actions. That kills respect. Emotional control doesn't mean you don't care. It means you can care without losing yourself. It means you value your own peace over winning an unnecessary emotional tug of war. When you remain calm, you shift the dynamic. You force her to wonder why you're not panicking, why you're not chasing, and why her silence doesn't seem to affect you. That curiosity works in your favor. It turns the tables from her ignoring you to her questioning if she's losing you. 4. Shift the focus back to your life. When a woman starts ignoring you, the worst thing you can do is make her the center of your world. That's exactly what most men do. They stop everything, obsess over her, and let their own lives fade into the background. This reaction only confirms to her that she's the priority, and you're willing to drop everything for her. That's not attractive. Instead, you need to flip that script. The moment she pulls away, you shift the spotlight off her and back onto yourself. This is where you become unavailable in the best way possible. Not because you're faking it, but because you're genuinely busy living a life worth living. Go harder at the gym, dive deeper into your career or business, spend more time with friends who uplift you, pick up hobbies or projects you've been putting off. Fill your time so much that you genuinely don't have hours to waste worrying about why she's ignoring you. Here's the psychological twist. When a woman senses that her absence isn't creating a void in your life, it creates discomfort for her. She begins to wonder if she mattered as much as she thought. That's when curiosity and attraction start to rebuild. By shifting your focus, you also protect your self-respect. You remind yourself that your identity isn't tied to whether a woman responds to you. You're a man who has his own mission, his own goals, and his own purpose, with or without her. When she eventually notices your shift in energy, she'll see a man who is in motion, not a man stuck waiting. That's a very different dynamic, one that often makes her come chasing instead of you doing the chasing. 5. Match her energy, not her words. When a woman starts ignoring you, don't just pay attention to what she says, pay attention to what she does. If her actions show disinterest, pull back to match that energy. This doesn't mean becoming cold or rude. It means adjusting your level of effort so you're no longer investing more than she is. Most men make the mistake of hearing her say things like, "I've just been busy," and believing it's an invitation to keep pursuing her. But if she's busy every time you try to see her, yet she's posting on social media, she's not too busy, she's prioritizing other things. The more you chase in this situation, the more she'll take your presence for granted. Matching her energy looks like this. If she takes hours or days to reply, you take your time as well. If she gives short responses, you don't send long paragraphs. If she stops initiating contact, you stop initiating too. This shift accomplishes two things. First, it protects your dignity. You're showing that you won't pour yourself into someone who isn't pouring back. Second, it triggers her sense of reciprocity. People naturally feel more drawn to relationships where effort is mutual. When you stop overcompensating, she either steps up or fades away, and either outcome is better for you. Here's the key. You're not playing games. You're simply mirroring the reality she's creating. By matching her effort, you create balance. And if she's ignoring you as a way to test your emotional self-control, you're passing that test with flying colors. In the process, you also discover her true level of interest. A woman who actually values you will notice your reduced effort and re-engage. A woman who doesn't will continue to fade. And that's your sign to invest your time elsewhere. 6. Use silence as a power move. Silence is one of the most underrated tools a man can use when a woman starts ignoring him. Most men panic when they feel her pulling away and try to fix it with more words, more messages, more effort. But the more you chase, the more she feels she has the upper hand, and the less urgency she feels to respond. Silence flips that dynamic. When you stop trying to force a connection, you create space. That space makes her wonder where you went, what you're doing, and why you're no longer giving her constant attention. And curiosity is a powerful spark in attraction. Here's how to use it effectively. Don't announce it. The moment you say, "Fine, I won't bother you anymore," you've already given away the effect. Simply withdraw. Stop reaching out, stop reacting to her social media, and stop giving her the easy validation she's gotten used to. Stay busy. Fill that silence with your own life, work, hobbies, gym, friends. This makes your absence even more noticeable. Silence works because it forces her to feel the absence of your presence. If she's been taking you for granted, it breaks the pattern where she assumes you'll always be available. It creates contrast. Before, she had you constantly, now she doesn't. That difference can trigger her to reinitiate contact. But here's the most important part. Silence should never be used as a manipulation tactic. It's not about punishing her, it's about respecting yourself enough to step back when your presence isn't being valued. And if she doesn't come back after your silence, that's not a loss, it's clarity. You've just saved yourself from wasting more time on someone who was never truly invested. When a woman starts ignoring you, your first instinct might be to chase her, question her, or try to fix whatever you think went wrong. But as we've broken down, that's the worst move you can make. A man who understands his value knows that he never begs for attention, never forces connection, and never compromises his dignity to keep someone around. Every reaction you give either strengthens her interest or kills it. By staying calm, pulling back, and refocusing on yourself, you shift the balance of power. You're showing her, and more importantly yourself, that you are a man who is complete on his own. That confidence is rare, and it's what makes women reevaluate how they see you, but you also need to recognize when her silence isn't a game, it's a decision. That's where self-respect comes in. Walking away when someone shows you they're no longer invested is not weakness, it's strength. It frees you from wasting time and energy on the wrong person and opens space for the right one to enter your life. At the end of the day, this isn't just about getting her back. It's about becoming a man who commands respect by how he handles himself under pressure. Remember this, attraction is built when you show you don't need her, but you want her, and that you'll never accept less than mutual effort. When you master this, women will think twice before ignoring you, and you'll never lose your value in the process.